the ride in Disney World, which was called Snow White's Scary Adventures. Doesn't sound like something a little kid would like. Was terrified of it. Never revisited Snow White again.
Why is Rachel Zegler no longer the fairest of them all? Hollywood's latest shocker has left everyone buzzing as Jenna Ortega takes on the iconic role of Snow White.
Fans are growing more concerned about Disney's new Snow White remake, mostly because of what the lead actress has been saying to the press.
I mean, you know, the original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her.
Yeah.
Weird.
With Rachel Zegler's recent controversies making headlines, it seems Disney had enough. But could Jenna Ortega be the saving grace this fairy tale needs? Or is this just the beginning of an even bigger storm? Rachel Zegler's casting as Snow White, for countless young girls, wearing a princess gown is pure fantasy. But for Rachel, it was real life. Over 6 months, she walked through stunning London sets, draped in a dazzling gown designed by none other than Sandy Powell. She wasn't just playing a princess, she was embodying the timeless Disney magic. But just when her fairy tale seemed ready to captivate the world, everything flipped upside down. In a move that shocked everyone, Disney announced that Jenna Ortega would now be taking over as Snow White. Rachel's departure came after she made some comments that didn't sit well with fans, sparking outrage and speculation. But what really caused Disney to make this drastic switch? And how is Jenna feeling about filling such big shoes under these circumstances? The drama doesn't stop there. Disney has made huge changes to the film, scrambling to save its reputation. But can they? Honestly, Rachel's controversial remarks stirred up a wave of backlash. But this decision has left everyone wondering, has the entire vision for Snow White been turned upside down? With Jenna Ortega's rising fame, will she be the key to rescuing this troubled production? Fans are holding their breath, waiting to see if Jenna's star power can reignite the magic and turn this project around. Known for her captivating performances and broad appeal, Jenna is being seen as a potential game changer. Her dedicated fan base and fresh energy might be exactly what's needed to restore confidence in the project and breathe new life into this reimagined Snow White. But what led Disney to the point that they had no choice except firing Zegler? Well, there's a lot to unpack here. Rachel Zegler, being Disney's PR nightmare. Disney's behind-the-scenes drama is more intense than one of their own fairy tales. The upcoming Snow White remake is already a budget buster, soaring past $300 million, and that's before the expensive reshoots. But it's not just the money that's got Disney sweating bullets. The PR surrounding the film has been a total disaster. Damage control is in full swing, but the fire isn't cooling down. And Rachel Zegler? Well, she's not exactly helping. Things took a sharp turn in a September 2022 interview with Variety when Zegler casually dropped a bomb. Snow White won't be chasing after Prince Charming this time around. So yeah, this version of the princess is all about finding herself and becoming a boss lady. Plot twist, right? It's a bold move for sure, but it tracks with Disney's aim to modernize the 1937 classic. Let's face it, back then, women didn't have the power and independence they do today, so Disney's shaking things up. But does it sit well with everyone? Honestly, not so much. Sure, Zegler has a point that the original Snow White didn't have much going on besides being sweet and dodging her murderous stepmother. But let's cut her some slack. Political ambition probably wasn't top of mind when you're running from poison apples. And Prince Charming? Whether he's a lovesick stalker or just a guy with a soft spot for musical ladies, at least he's got good taste, right? Still, not everyone's enchanted by these updates. In fact, the backlash is louder than Sleeping Beauty's alarm clock. David Hale Hand, son of the original Snow White director, is one of the most vocal critics. He's convinced that if his dad and Walt Disney were still around, they'd be rolling in their graves over the changes. He even went on record to say this new take is a whole different concept, and not in a good way. Hand didn't hold back, calling the updates an insult to what his father created, and accusing Disney of going way too woke with the story. But honestly, is that a bit too dramatic? Or is he just saying what some people are thinking? You can be the judge here. And if things weren't already wild enough, Rachel Zegler again made headlines for some spicy comments about her paycheck. In an interview, she casually mentioned that if she's standing in a princess dress for 18 hours, she better get paid for every single hour the movie is streamed online.
Say, if I'm going to stand there 18 hours in a dress of an iconic Disney princess, I deserve to be paid for every hour that it is streamed online.
Someone get this girl a reality show because she's serving more Real Housewives drama than Disney royalty. Now, let's put this in perspective. Zegler's walking away with at least $2 million for her role as Snow White, which is a pretty sweet deal for someone who wasn't exactly a household name when she was cast. We're talking about a time when Donald Trump was running for president, the first time. And here's a fun fact. Andrew Garfield, a much bigger star when he first put on the Spidey suit, made half of what Zegler's getting. Did we hear him complain? Nope. Garfield rocked the spandex and kept it classy, no tantrums about his paycheck. But Zegler? Her gripe was demanding to get paid for every hour the movie streams. That's like asking for royalties every time someone hits play on Disney+. Even if she was joking, it came off a bit more entitled than funny. And the internet? Well, let's just say they weren't laughing, and her fan base hasn't exactly exploded since. Then there's the whole casting controversy. People are still scratching their heads wondering why she was chosen as Snow White, especially since she doesn't seem all that fond of the 1937 classic. In fact, from the way she talks about it in interviews, you'd think she was on a one-woman crusade to get the original canceled. Zegler's recent showdown with Disney execs cranked the drama up to 11. She's claiming that her firing was all about the test screenings, accusing Disney of deliberately picking her worst takes from the second and third acts of the film. Is she throwing shade or dodging accountability? With the marketing campaign tanking and the sequels reportedly canned, things have gone from a little messy to a full-blown PR dumpster fire. And if you thought the drama couldn't get juicier, let's talk about Rachel Zegler's ongoing feud with Gal Gadot. Things hit a breaking point during a remote meeting where both stars reportedly told Disney they'd refuse to do any joint interviews, or even appear together on late-night TV. Yep, not even Mickey Mouse can broker peace in this war. Zegler's frustrations hit new heights as she blamed Gadot and Snow White director Mark Webb for completely tanking her career. So yeah, Zegler's Disney dream unraveled faster than you can say, happily ever after. She thought landing the iconic role of Snow White would be her golden ticket to stardom. But here's the harsh reality of Hollywood. If you're not bringing in the dollars, you're just another face in the crowd. Disney's not exactly known for loyalty when you're no longer profitable, and Zegler's finding that out the hard way. As if the behind-the-scenes chaos wasn't enough, Zegler's social media antics may have sealed her fate. She hasn't just been dropped from Snow White, she's reportedly been cut from other Disney projects too. Add to that, her being iced out of major events like the Thanksgiving parade and a Christmas special where she was supposed to perform. The fallout for Zegler is brutal. Not only have major appearances like a New Year's Eve performance and the Snow White world premiere been canceled, but families are actively boycotting the movie. It's safe to say Disney execs are feeling the heat, and you can bet Bob Iger's been getting an earful about the whole mess. You see, Rachel Zegler's journey as Snow White has been anything but magical. Critics have been relentless, calling her a fake feminist and even accusing her of gaslighting audiences. And it's not just the critics piling on. Even Disney's own branding experts have chimed in, warning that Disney might have gone from one extreme to another with this heavy-handed message of empowerment, and it's not hitting the mark like they hoped. Remember the good old days of Disney? Back when their stars were media-trained to perfection, sticking to the script and dodging controversy? Those days feel like a distant memory. With this modern-day Snow White, the boss girl vibe seems to have given the actors free rein to speak their minds. And boy, has that backfired. Critics are now saying Disney might want to rethink how much freedom they're giving their stars, especially when their opinions stray too far from the fairy tale magic people expect. PR expert Nick Eade didn't hold back either. He pointed out that instead of embracing the iconic role of Snow White, Zegler seems determined to flip the script, but not in a way that's winning everyone over. The movie has morphed into what some are calling a woke story, about a young woman with bigger ambitions than waiting for Prince Charming. It sounds progressive, sure, but not everyone's buying it, including critics like Matt Walsh.
Now, in another attempt to avoid reinforcing stereotypes, the film also reportedly would not include a Prince Charming, at least not as the character existed in the past. Instead, we were told the film would feature a stronger Snow White who dreams of, bossing everyone around, being a girl boss.
And then there's the backlash over Zegler's casting. Snow White has always been described as having skin as white as snow, and Zegler's Colombian-American heritage led some to question the choice. She clapped back with a bold, now-deleted tweet. "Yes, I am Snow White. No, I am not bleaching my skin for the role." While her response was fiery, it only added more fuel to the already burning controversy surrounding the remake. Amidst all the chaos surrounding the Snow White remake, one can't help but ask, has Disney lost touch with the essence that made its stories timeless? That one magical ingredient that resonated with audiences for generations: love. Are we losing the magic of love? For decades, Disney's formula was clear and simple: love equals happiness. The classic princess storyline was all about finding your prince, getting married, and living happily ever after. It's a universal theme that hit home because, let's face it, love is in our DNA. Since the dawn of time, stories have celebrated love as a core part of life and survival. It's what kept these fairy tales alive in our hearts. But now, Disney seems to be shifting its focus. In the new Snow White live-action remake, Rachel Zegler has made it crystal clear this Snow White isn't waiting for a prince. She's not dreaming of love, she's dreaming of leadership. And for a lot of people, that feels like a major departure from the very thing that made Snow White who she was. Can a Disney princess still capture hearts without her fairy tale romance? Calling the classic tale of true love weird is a bold take. Let's not forget that the 1937 Snow White didn't just wait to be rescued. She took charge, won over the 7 dwarfs, and had an entire forest of animals at her side, all while showing kindness and humility. That's leadership, right? But now it seems like Disney's message is more about power than love. And that shift has left many fans feeling disconnected. Frankly, this isn't a new trend in Hollywood. From Star Wars Admiral Holdo to Lord of the Rings Galadriel, we've seen the rise of the girl boss archetype, where power often takes center stage over love. For some, it feels like Hollywood is more focused on ticking boxes than crafting heartfelt stories. Power can be seized, but love? That has to be given. And maybe that's where Hollywood's losing the plot, forgetting that love, not power, is what truly makes a story resonate. Disney's classics are classics for a reason. Films like the original Snow White didn't just transform cinema. They gave us unforgettable songs like "Someday My Prince Will Come," "Whistle While You Work," and "Hi-Ho." These melodies still echo in our hearts, reminding us of the magic that was once the core of Disney's storytelling. Today, it seems that the focus has shifted from melody and magic to messages, leaving some wondering, are we losing what made Disney's crown jewels shine in the first place? The foundation of Disney's magic, stories about love, heart, and timeless values, is being rewritten. And let's be real, some Disney employees might be feeling a bit envious of the legendary works they're now dismantling piece by piece. Meanwhile, Hollywood is obsessed with power, forgetting that true leadership comes with hefty responsibilities. Being a princess isn't all tiaras and ball gowns. It's a tough gig. You don't even have to go back to 1937 to see it. Remember The Princess Diaries in 2001? Even that now feels like a relic from a different time. Anne Hathaway's Mia Thermopolis was awkward, relatable, and found out she was royalty. But it wasn't all champagne and castles. Sure, being a princess seemed fun, but Mia had to grow into the role, and she didn't do it alone. Enter the ever-graceful Julie Andrews as Queen Clarice. It was a coming-of-age story showing us that it's not about where you come from, but who you choose to become. And most importantly, Mia had a mentor, a guide who helped her navigate her newfound responsibilities. But where are those mentors in today's Hollywood? In modern stories, it feels like elders are either dismissed or ridiculed. The hero's journey is now all about embracing your inner greatness. And once you do, it's your job to make sure everyone else recognizes it, often with a flashy showdown. The seasoned pros, the wise mentors, they're portrayed as relics of the past, irrelevant to the new generation of heroes. Instead of learning from them, the goal seems to be outshining them. And that's not just lazy storytelling, it's a dangerous shift. Instead of teaching humility, respect, and responsibility, the focus has turned to dominance. No wonder people are feeling disconnected from these modern tales. Hollywood's power obsession is stripping away the heart and soul that once made these stories timeless. With the change in narratives, it's no surprise that the Snow White trailer wasn't well received. The Snow White trailer's disastrous reception. It's safe to say things are not looking good for Disney's Snow White remake, and that's putting it mildly. And as if Zegler's drama wasn't enough, the CGI is being roasted left and right. With that huge budget, you'd expect flawless visuals, right? Well, the reality is, the graphics look like they were rushed out the door half-baked. Disney execs are in full-on panic mode trying to fix it, but at this point, it's feeling like a losing battle. What happened was that the 7 dwarfs were swapped out for magical non-dwarf creatures in the name of political correctness. Disney initially denied it, but when photos leaked, they had to come clean. The film's trailer didn't do much to help the situation, with CGI dwarfs dancing around, sparking disappointment on social media. Fans were quick to voice their displeasure, with many upset about the tone, the visuals, and the way the story deviated from the original. The reaction was brutal. The trailer racked up a staggering 735,000 downvotes compared to just 69,000 upvotes, a huge red flag. If that's any indication, Disney could be heading for a rough opening weekend. It seems like Snow White might be in for a cold reception at the box office, and not even a magic mirror can fix that. As if the backlash wasn't already a massive headache, Disney's decisions seem to be emptying their wallet as well. Their bright idea to dodge casting actual actors for the role of dwarves? Yeah, that blew up in their face. What started as a $200 million price tag has now ballooned into a jaw-dropping $330 million. That's right, Snow White has somehow made it into the top 10 most expensive films ever. For context, Avengers: Infinity War cost less than this. Not exactly a fairy tale ending for Disney. So yeah, the movie would have to cross over $600 million to hit break even. Does this CGI drama sound like déjà vu? That's because it echoes the drama surrounding the upcoming Mufasa film. Fans of The Lion King feel like Disney's beating the franchise into the ground, and excitement for the new prequel is pretty much non-existent. Amidst the dwarves' controversy, actors like Peter Dinklage have further stirred the pot when he called out how dwarves were portrayed in the original movie. Disney tried to play it safe by turning the dwarves into magical creatures. But when the trailer hit, those CGI creatures creeped people out more than anything else. Add in complaints about the movie's dreary color palette and over-the-top CGI, and you can see why fans feel the heart and soul of the 1937 classic have been buried under all these changes. And as if the trailer backlash wasn't bad enough, Rachel Zegler's off-screen remarks didn't help smooth things over. Sure, she started strong by thanking fans for all the trailer views, but then she jumped into politically charged comments about the Israel-Palestine conflict, sparking even more chaos. While everyone's entitled to their opinions, her remarks struck a nerve, especially since her co-star, Gal Gadot, is Israeli. Suddenly, the internet was buzzing with that age-old debate. Should we separate the artist from the art, or is there a time and place for mixing politics with entertainment? Will introducing Jenna Ortega and returning to a more classic storyline be the key to avoiding a box office flop? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching the video. Like and subscribe for more insights and updates on this evolving story.